Hello and wait a second. Hello and welcome to me talking about Atomicrops, a game I have played for a little bit more than 1 hour and refunded. So I think that will kind of give you the gist of what this video is about. I will try not to bash on the game too hard because I think it's a smaller development team, and I always think of the developers and I'm like, wow, they put a lot of hours into this project and I don't want to like bash what they enjoyed. I hope they enjoy doing. But with everything that is art, it doesn't appeal to everyone, right? It's just my videos don't appeal to everyone. That's just how it is. With that said, let's talk about Atomicrops, a game that released in September 2020. So it's now close actually to 2 years. And it has very positive reviews, like all reviews, 2,000 reviews, and in general just very positive. And I thought, okay, that sounds pretty good. It looks pretty fun. I like the art style. I like shooting part. Kind of reminds me a little bit of, I think, was it Gunslinger or whatever it's called. I'm pretty sure you saw this genre before. It's like a little bit of here, a little bit of there, you know, like mix and match a couple genres together and you got this. And I'm like, okay, I kind of dig it. And that's why I recently bought it and played it yesterday, right before going to bed, which might have not been the best idea, of course, you know, playing a brand new game right before bed. But I also sometimes have this feeling like when you're tired and you play a new game, you kind of get like energized, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's like the typical gamer talk, like I get energized by games. I know. Anyways, let's just jump into the positives and negatives. The positives are the intro is animated. I was really surprised by this, you know, voice acted, animated, and yeah, it just looks really goddamn cool. I enjoyed that. Doesn't matter if they outsourced that or made it in-house. I don't care. It is in the game. Similar to a game that I recently played, or the demo of it, which is Cult of the Lamb. That has a sick-ass intro and fully animated. It could be a Disney show. It really brings you into the game, and it definitely did that. I'm like, wow, animated? Alright, I am fully focused now. Let's go. Then it throws you into the tutorial, which worked, I would say, quite well. It just had, you know, the basic things, grab this, do that, go here, go do that. You know, it gets you in kind of into the gameplay loop, which is all a tutorial should do. It should kind of briefly give you like the surface level explanation of the gameplay loop. And it did that to a degree. It's all downhill from here, because then you start playing the actual video game and realize, oh, I'm probably gonna jump around here a bit, but just hear me out, okay? So for some reason, you do not play as the character in the intro scene. You play as the female character that you have at the start. And I was like, okay, you lost me a little bit here already, but fine. And you're in this overworld that is just completely decimated, right? Just an atom bomb and some weird stuff happened. And you go a new game and I'm like, okay. So I feel like they tried to have like the main menu thing you see in games, right? Like start a new game, load the save file and stuff, but kind of in an overworld. I kind of get it, but it kind of didn't click to me. Or at least I think the overworld is also a little bit too big. I don't know, something didn't click. Anyways, moving on. I definitely felt a little bit weird, but anyways, a game is always about exploration, trying, clicking on things and see what happens, right? So I clicked on things, jumped into the game, plopped into the world, and yeah, it just started, you know, the thing that the tutorial told me to. Grab the water bucket, go to the water, get the crops ready, blah, 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 and do this stuff. And I'm like, okay, I get it, that's good. But then I think it also told me right at the start of jumping in that I should go to the desert, which is on the left side of the world. And I'm like, all right, cool, that's probably where I can find new seeds, a couple enemies from what I saw from the brief couple screenshots. And also in the tutorial saw a couple enemies, so I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. But I instantly realized the bad parts about it, about this gameplay loop, because there is no loop. The game is so fast and doesn't leave enough room for you to do anything else but stay at your crops. That's actually the main part I really dislike. To kind of give you a sense of what you're going to do is, you pop into the world, you do your crop things, you water them, and after 5 or 10 seconds, they want to get watered again. So you water them again. And then they want to get watered again. And then you water them again. Do you see the problem here? It doesn't work with the message the game actually tells you, which is every single time you pop into the world, you have the morning time, like the day, and the night cycle. During the day, it always tells you your crops are safe. They're not being eaten, they're not being destroyed. And I'm like, all right, that's good. So during the day, I can move around, right? And I can explore the world, find maybe new seeds, find other stuff. And later on, or quickly, I realized there are also upgrades that literally make you fly. There's a lot of fun, interesting stuff, and quite strong stuff, I even feel like. And also like companions that help you, that water for you, that dig for you, like a pig and a cow. And I'm like, that's all cool and fun ideas. The problem is, you need to be at your crops to water them constantly to make them grow, as far as I realized. Maybe they grow by themselves without water, but I don't think so, because you constantly have the water symbol on the top right that pretty much yells at you, yo, you gotta water your plants, bro. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but I don't want to do this right now. I want to explore the world. I want to find stuff. I want to kill some stuff. You know, I just want to hunt some enemies, whatever the world offers me, right? So I am kind of stuck at my crops to get them ready so I can then harvest them, because that makes me money. Or I think nuggets is it called in the game. So with nuggets, you can then, after surviving the night, which spawns monsters or enemies that you have to then, you know, defeat, otherwise your crops are gone. I got my crops, I survived the first night, sweet. I go back to the town and quickly realized everything is just not in my price range. It is way too expensive. Like, everything is way too expensive. Like, I have maybe 100 nuggets, or I don't know how many I had at the beginning, and the second run, I definitely had more money the first night, because, you know, you become more efficient over time. But the problem is, if you can't hit, I feel like if you can't hit the first night and get a first good weapon, because I feel like the first weapon is okay, but I'm pretty sure there are better weapons. I sadly could never buy them, because they're always way more expensive than what I could have, like, gotten over the day. Either because I don't have enough seeds to plant enough crops to make enough money, or enemies become so annoying that I can't even focus on watering the plants constantly, which, yes, you have to do during the night. So not only do we have to be careful that enemies don't kill you constantly, or eat your crops, or the bosses, by the way, which is a cool addition, but they're spawning so frequently. It's just, there is so much stuff. It never gives you a chance to breathe. And that at the end isn't more fun because you constantly have something to do. It is more annoying for me. Maybe it's the boomer in me, you know, with close to being 30. Maybe the boomer is coming out of me. But this game has, I think, the major issue of this game is it doesn't give you enough time. The days are too short. The nights are, they could be longer as well. Doesn't matter, right? But there are too many enemies, too many things. And why are there enemies spawning during the day that kind of constantly annoy you while you're trying to plant or grow your crops? It's just, okay, I rambled a little bit, so let's go back to my list that I wrote down of the things that annoyed me. A tiny little nitpicky thing is there is like a weird lack of music sometimes. Like sometimes you go back to the town, I think it's the third day of the season, like, you know, spring, summer, and the mayor kind of like rewards you depending on how much food you gathered for the people, which is a cool addition. I like that, right? It kind of gives you a nice little high score of like what you can beat in the next season or in the next year. It's good. The problem is, you spawn into the town and there is no music. I feel like I think there's an ambient sound, but there was no music. It's dead. It feels like either it's a bug, I don't know, it feels weird, you know, it's just these tiny little things. Anyways, nitpicky stuff. Another thing that I haven't brought up is, okay, but if you don't have the nuggets, right, to buy cool stuff, like weapons, which I would have loved to have better weapons, because God, it's annoying fighting enemies with a bad weapon. And my God, did I get a bad one. And you cannot get your old one back. If you get a new one, the old one is gone. It's just, it evaporates, I guess. I don't know. You're being forcefully picked up every single day. You are not in decision of when you want to go back to the town. It forces you to go back. There's always a helicopter coming in that picks you up, and you see the returning to town in 3, 2, 1, and I'm like, but I just want to do my crops, bro. Can I just continue doing the crop stuff? You know, the gameplay loop. Can I continue that for a little bit? Nah. I pretty much talked about everything I wanted to talk about earlier, with the gameplay loop and the day and night cycles and everything being way too fast and overcrowded and too much stuff happening, and it ramps way too fast. And have I, by the way, mentioned that the price of the weapons also grow bigger, so that it just, you never like can catch up. It's just, it's such an interesting game. But 20 minutes into it, I realized, oh no, I think this is a refund, and I don't want to play this for 5, 6, 7 hours, because I realized over time how I started having a bitch face. You know what I mean? Like, constantly being just annoyed. I had like a neutral face, which continued to turn into like a bitch face of being annoyed. And I'm like, no, I can't do this for 5, 6 hours to potentially get something good out of. I can't. I literally couldn't. If whatever I said right now still sounds interesting to you, please give it a try. It's 6 euros right now instead of 15 euros on Steam, thanks to the Steam summer sale. For me, it's a good idea, even a great idea, with like a variety of enemies. Some of them recolored, but doesn't matter. But it's just a very bad execution in terms of just throwing stuff at the player without giving the player more time. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you enjoyed the game, please let me know down below why you did enjoy Atomicrops. And besides that, as an annoying YouTuber, I have to mention, you have to like and you have to subscribe. It's kind of like in the, you know, the thing nobody reads, right? Where you just say, yeah, just I accept it and let me just move on. Yeah, it says it actually in that we have to say that to other people. I don't know why. It's kind of in the contract. Memes aside, I hope you will have a great day, and I will see you next video. Bye-bye.